What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's Jesse Spec YouTube video. This week I'm putting new wheels on the Lotus, and guess what? They're not going to be the usual Lotus wheels that you're used to see on the internet. Actually, quite frankly, it might actually be the first Lotus Elise in the world to get these wheels on it. Go ahead and try to prove me wrong. And anyway, without further ado, let's jump right into it and let me show you this awesome setup. Alright, we're back in the office. Today's video, I'm gonna be installing new wheels and tires on my Lotus Elise. As you know, I have a good relationship, let's say it like that, let's put it that way, with Wedssport in Japan. And I wanted to try something new because many people in the Lotus community usually use what is readily available wheels-wise. So I thought since you all know I'm from a Japanese car background, I wanted to do something a little bit unusual. So today I'm going to be installing Wedssport TC105X Wheels front and rear on my Lotus Elise. So for my setup, I'll be going with 16-inch wheels in front. They look like this with the AD08RS. And on the back, I'll be using 17-inch ones, also with AD08RSs, to see if we can save any weight regarding tires and wheels, and see if I can actually improve the handling of the car. As you know, I'm running spacers and the stock wheels and terrible tires that are also not even balanced, so even maybe the wheels are warped. So I thought it's a good thing to change, and it's something really that will look amazing on this car, I'm pretty convinced, on top of the performance benefits that it will bring. So anyway, I don't know if the TC105X, it is the lightest wheel from Wedssport, but I don't know if it will actually be lighter than the stock Lotus Elise wheels, because they are pretty damn light if you ask me. So instead of wondering, how about I get out my scales and figure out how heavy these wheels are. Okay, so let's do this. Join me. Okay, so I have my corner balancing scales. They are not super precise, but they will allow me to see what is the weight of the wheels. So let's take a look and see how heavy the TC105X wheels are to begin with. Okay, so we have the TC105X in 16-inch on the scales. What do we have here? We have 14 kilo for a front wheel. Let's remember that, and we'll compare it after with the Lotus stock wheels. I should note though that this is, let's see how wide the tire is. This is a 215/45 so it's a pretty wide tire as well, huh? And it's 15 by 7 the width, which is much wider than the stock Lotus wheels. Okay, we have the 17-inch wheel here. Let's quickly check the tire width. It's 225/45 How heavy is it? It's 18 kilos, as you can see here, for the fully balanced wheel assembly with the Yokohama tires. Okay, we're again at the scales. Let's reinitialize it. Voila. Okay, we're at 0 here. Okay, so now here we have the scale. Let's start with the small wheel first. Small wheel, front wheel. As you can see, it's a super thin tire. What kind of tire size do we have? 185/50 R16, so a bicycle tire almost. And we're at 13 kilo, as you can see here. That's the weight of the small wheel. So here you can see the difference, like there's a massive difference in width here. We have 185 compared to 215, and basically there is only 1 kilo extra weight. I can say with certitude that it's 100% related to the tire width rather than the wheel width. Okay, now the 17-inch wheel. Let's just quickly check the tire size. So it's 225/45 R17. How heavy is it? We're at 17 kilo, 17.5. Wait a minute. How's that possible? So we increased front and rear the unsprung masses of the wheels? That's weird, right? So that's exactly what I was thinking. So let's check out what's going on, because on paper, the wheels, according to my data, we have 6.8 kilos stock weight. I'll blend in that print screen right now, and 9.5 kilos in the back for the stock wheels. And my Wedssport wheels, the TC105X, not inventing this, this is from their catalog. I will blend in a print screen of that right now as well. We have 5.5 kilos in front and 6.8 kilos in the back. That roughly makes 1.4 kilo difference decrease when I put the new wheels in front for the rim itself, and 2.7 kilos difference in the rear. So how in the hell did we get heavier overall? And the only explanation I have for that is either my scales are acting weird, and that I hope not, but that could be a possibility. And the other possibility is all the differences in the tires. In front it makes sense because stock tires I have 185s and I went to 215s, so that explains weight increase, of course. However, in the rear, I kept exactly the same size, 225/45 R17, and there's a weight difference. So that does not make sense, to be honest. I have to investigate why that is happening. Is the Yokohama tire so much heavier than the garbage tire I had on the car? I doubt it, but who knows? What's for sure is there is an overall weight increase of 1 kilo front and 1 kilo rear, I'd say roughly. And I'm a bit surprised, to be honest, especially in the rear. I expected to go down a lot. But anyway, I just wanted to put this disclaimer here so I don't get destroyed in the comment section later. Because yeah, me too, I was expecting less, but finally the results are totally different. So let's dive back into the video where we left off before. Okay, so here we have the spacers, 15 mil one. Let's remove it and put the new wheel on. Man, that looks good. Brake clearance is perfect. Looks pretty damn good if you ask me. So we have another spacer out. In the back is less of a pain and doesn't change the ride feel so much, but in the front really it can be detrimental and create a lot of bump steer. So let's put the new wheel in the back here and see how it goes.
Okay, let's go downstairs and take a look at the car with its new fitment and new wheels and see how it looks. So you can see the fitment is better than before, to be honest. It clears the brakes perfectly in the front. You can see the rear is also nice and snug outside towards the fender. It does not hit anywhere, and it really looks way better than the stock wheels with spacers, and of course without spacers, because they would stick in too much. So at least from a aesthetical point of view, it really looks good. Let's take a look at the rear here. So you can see the rear wheel is really nice and flush. It's slightly on the inside. That's exactly how I wanted it, because wheels that stick out are an aerodynamic catastrophe. So you can see, I'd say like maybe the wheels are like 5 mil inside the fender. That is, in my eyes, a very functional and good looking setup. If you look in front, we're a tiny bit wider. Actually, the wheel sticks out a little bit more in front, but for some reason at the top with the camber, it actually looks like it sticks in more than in the back. So let's take a look from the back here. And what I love about this car is, look, the whole wheel is sticking out. You can see the whole wheel. It's like if the fender is not there anymore and it retracts totally towards the center. And in the front, if you look a little bit, you can also see a large portion of the wheel from the front. And that is really also a wonderful design aspect of the Lotus Elise. Anyway, this place in front of the warehouse is not so practical. Let's take a look in a better place with nicer shots.
Alright, so this brings this video to an end. I wanted to conclude this video by thanking all of you guys for watching this. I hope you liked it. I hope you liked the fact that I decided to go my own way and choose my own style of wheels that I like on my car, even though it goes against the grain and the tendencies of many other Lotus drivers. I like using my products. I like my stuff. So I really want to give sort of a Japanese touch to this British car and make it really suit my tastes. So the wheels and tires is a first start, of course. Sadly, there was an increase in overall weight. I know it's not due to the rims, but certainly due to the tires. I still need to figure out how much, but anyway, I wanted most of all to show you and introduce you what I call probably the first Lotus Elise in the world to have TC105Xs on it. Brake clearance also in front. It fits in the 2mm range past the calipers, so it's also road legal for Swiss usage. And I really love how the driving feeling is. So for next week's video, I will be giving you feedback on how this new wheel setup will actually influence the handling of the car, even though we increase the unsprung masses by a little bit, of course, but I just want to show you overall how it feels, and for me there's a tremendous improvement generally for the driving feeling of it. So I hope this video was interesting for you. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe, to like, and if you can even share this video with another Lotus owner who likes JDM parts, make sure to do that. And anyway, thank you so much for supporting me in all these car adventures. I'm really thankful to every single one of you who's looking at my videos, who also leave comments and subscribe. Thank you so much. That's all I can say. Anyway, so without further ado, I'm gonna let you go. See you next week.